Debería despedirme de todos mis amigos.
Creo que deberías hacer lo que te apetezca.
No pienso marcharme sufriendo una agonía humillante.
No sé qué decirte.
It's one of the honours of our lives. I speak for Julie too. We are incredibly honoured.
Yes.
When he could have chosen anybody, and he chose us.
We feel so lucky. Yeah. I mean, to enter his canon of films and to be in the first English language film, I think neither one of us ever imagined that we would work with Pedro because we didn't speak Spanish, and it didn't seem possible. And of course, Tilda did with her short, and then we both ended up in his first feature. So it's extraordinary, really.
But at the same time, it feels very natural.
Yeah.
It feels completely obvious now in a strange way. He always felt like a sort of cousin, Spanish cousin to a kind of filmmaking that I think we were both engaged in. And so it's very organic. It was a complete instinct. I put myself in Martha's shoes, and I asked myself, what's the face? Who's the face listening to me? Who's the person accompanying me? Who's the person walking in the woods with me when I have to lie down? And it was Julianne. She was the only person, and I was incredibly grateful, not only that Pedro agreed, but that she said yes.
I love the story. I feel so flattered. I'm so honored. What a thrill to be thought of by this extraordinary actor and by this extraordinary director, and to be included in it. It was just, came completely out of the blue. I opened up my computer one day and there was an email from Pedro. So how lucky, and how kind of wonderful that you don't know what'll happen in your life. The stuff just sort of zips in that way. But,
and we had never worked together before. We'd met very briefly. And of course, we fantasized always about working together. But now that we've made this film, how could it be better? How could we have found a better way of working together than to look at this friendship and also to find a friendship with each other during the work? In my view, very. But then I'm a communicative individual, and I know that it would be important for me. For Martha, I know there's something about being with someone who she knows really sees her and really knows her. And she doesn't have to edit herself with Ingrid. She doesn't have to be braver than she is. The way in which Ingrid looks at her, the way in which she shows up for her, the way in which she's just present is incredibly important.
And I think, one thing sort of interesting too, it just occurred to me, there's nothing sentimental about it.
No,
there's nothing
it's very
sentimental about the relationship too.
It's very
like
practical.
They have their frictions the same way that ordinary people have friction. It's like, oh, you made me drive, hours back and forth, and that, But they're so that's the other thing that feels so, I think, refreshing about the relationship is it feels ordinary, it feels normal and recognizable.
Well, again, it felt to me as if the what we had was the opportunity to do something very modest and very real, not actually acted at all. Something incredibly authentic and simple and communicative. And Julie and I had this opportunity to just talk to each other, listen to each other, respond to each other, and be in each other's presence in an incredibly undramatic way. And for me, I'm always looking for opportunities where acting is not required. It wasn't an acted scenario. It was performed, but it had a kind of temperature of reality that was, I think, incredibly refreshing, because it's not a drama. It's a poem.
Right, yeah.
I think the whole concept of death with dignity is an essential human right. And the fact that it's taking its time to enter the statute books of many different governments is, I mean, it's not surprising, but it's a shame, but it's coming. You know, we're making up for lost time, and I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that it is a human right, and the way in which people choose to live through their dying should be theirs.
And this is a conversation that's happening globally, you know, all over the world. I mean, obviously you're seeing human rights ebb and flow depending on where you are and what the culture demands and what government is in power. But I think people keep insisting, you know, that we have the right to live how we want to die, how we want to have control over our bodies.
I have to a request for you. Please tell Pedro we need to a movie about the story about Carmelita and journalism.
We have to, for sure. It's very important. I think.
Next up,
Yeah,
that's next up.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, in a shot. I'm waiting. I'm standing by. My bag is packed.
We're learning Spanish.
Yeah, we're learning Spanish.
Yeah,
I'm ready. We're going to learn flamenco. No,
Right.
we're ready.
The actress of Almodovar in Spain, we call it Chica Almodóvar.
Sí.
We're so proud.
Chica Almodóvar.
We're so proud.
Gracias.
So proud.
El día que la encuentres cerrada significa que habrá ocurrido.
He perdido completamente la fe en que la gente actúe correctamente.
Estoy aprendiendo de ella. Y tú también deberías.